Every X movie in T-West Trilogy, ranked worst to best with the release of MaXXXine, T-West X Trilogy has come to a close, and here is every movie in the series ranked worst to best. Starting with X in 2022, T-West's horror trilogy took viewers on a decade-spanning journey that explored the horrors and violence that could come about from desires to attain fame, with the story of MaXXXine, Minx, and Pearl having a lot of interesting parallels. While each film in T-West X Trilogy is good, some are better than others, and here is a complete ranking of each one from worst to best. T-West X Horror Trilogy is much more than a simple series of slasher films, as it is an interesting exploration of how film in its different form has impacted the world throughout its history. Each film in T-West X Trilogy pays homage to a different era of film, and while X, Pearl, and MaXXXine are all tonally and narratively distinct from each other, this common theme and a few common characters link the trilogy together. MaXXXine wrapped up the story that was first kicked off in X, and now it's time for a retrospective on which film was best. MaXXXine is the third and final film in T-West's X Trilogy, and out of the three films, it turned out to be the worst one. MaXXXine acts as a direct sequel to X, the first film in the series, with it following X protagonist MaXXXine Minx as she heads to Hollywood in an attempt to continue her pursuit of stardom. After scoring a major role in a highly anticipated sequel, MaXXXine's past comes back to haunt her, with a shadowy figure and a PI seemingly threatening to expose her role in the massacre on Howard and Pearl's farm to the world. Like the other films in the X Trilogy, MaXXXine is a homage to a specific period of film, with it being a tribute to the video nasties and direct-to-video horror B-movies of the 1980s. This updated 1980s Los Angeles setting breathes a new life into the X Trilogy, with the constant 80s music, neon lights, and crowded LA streets making MaXXXine feel much bigger than its predecessors. Moving away from the rural farm settings and focusing on the serial killers and porn industry of the 1980s was a great idea, with it making the first two acts of the film fantastic. However, MaXXXine really falls apart in the final act, where it is revealed that the shadowy figure who has been trailing MaXXXine is actually her evangelical father who was first teased in X. This twist ending is completely unbelievable, as he then kidnaps MaXXXine and brings her to his religious cult where they hope to make a movie that purportedly features a real-life exorcism. While this could have been an interesting commentary on the satanic panic, the reveal and ensuing police shootout is far too goofy for MaXXXine, with it feeling jarringly different from the first hour of the film. The themes of desiring fame and religious oppression were present in both X and Pearl, and while MaXXXine makes these issues much more integral parts of its story than its predecessor, it seems to have much less to say. In the attempt to mimic the violence and style of the 1980s B-horror movies that MaXXXine is homaging, it loses the soul of what made the first two X movies great. There isn't much left to think about when the credits roll, as MaXXXine's commentary on the dark side of attaining fame has been explored so many times before. If MaXXXine's third act had lived up to the first two, the new setting, fast pace, and grander scale could have led to it being just as good as its predecessors in the X Trilogy. However, the climax and resolution of the film was a real disappointment, leaving a lot to be desired from the final moments of the X Trilogy. In an attempt to tie MaXXXine's story back into the reveal of MaXXXine's religious upbringing from the ending of X, MaXXXine completely falls apart, with it adding too much camp to the one aspect of the X Trilogy that should have been played straight.